Okay, today take a look at the new lineup of mice by Acer. So we have one wired mouse and we have three wireless mice. This is a 313, a 240, 243, and a 242. So here they are side by side. We can see the 313 and the 240 look pretty much the same. They appear to have the exact same body and the same kind of texture there on the sides, and they both have the nice thumb rest, which is what I prefer in my mice. It also has something interesting, which is this little ridge right here, which is something you don't normally see on mice with this shape. So that's going to give you a spot for your ring finger to sit. And then for the other two mice, they are a much more traditional mice shape. One thing I noticed that is consistent with all of them is they all have a rubber wheel right here, so it's easy to get a nice good grip on that. The three mice on the left all have forward and backward buttons. The 242 does not have that. This is just a left-right mouse wheel and DPI settings. One thing I did notice about the 242 is that it has fairly quiet switches on it. If you compare that to the 243 or the 240 or the 313, these are much more clicky sounding. Something interesting between the 243 and the 240 is that the buttons are a little bit larger on the 243. So if you have larger fingers, this one might be a little bit more accommodating. I also noticed the 243 does not have a DPI switch where the 240 does. For all the wireless mice, we do have a power switch here on the bottom, and they all have a compartment for our batteries and for our dongle. And it appears they all use two AAA batteries. I do appreciate that they got a carrying spot for this dongle because I always lose these things if they don't. Especially if you got to throw this thing in your bag, it's nice being able to just put that guy away and have everything in one spot. So plug in the dongle. Yeah, and that is working right away. So I don't have to wait for any kind of connection. It just started working. So that's excellent. And it feels very responsive, which is important. Start hitting my DPI settings. Right now we are on the lowest setting. Here's 2, 3, and then back to low. So a total of 3 different DPI settings. Buttons feel responsive. Yeah. That is a very nice mouse. Now I'm going to try the wired version of the same mouse. Yeah, just plug it in, starts working. No issues there whatsoever. Feels like the exact same mouse. So this is just going to be a matter of whether or not you want to have wired or wireless. Now I am curious if they will work on the same dongle. No, it does not. Now that's good, because what that means is if we wanted to, we could have 2 of these same mice in the same area and they're not going to be interfering with each other. As soon as I plug it in, that guy starts working too. I really like the feel of this mouse. Now I like the thumb rest for this one, but this one feels very glidey, very smooth. Yeah, great feeling mouse wheel. The only odd thing about it is the lack of the DPI settings. I don't think there's any buttons. Yeah, there's no DPI option on here. So basically, if the DPI was too high for you, you just have to go into the operating system and reduce the mouse speed. I mean, it's nice and fast, so if you like quick, twitchy movements, then that is going to be perfectly fine just as is. And just to go with the same trend, I want to make sure that this mouse does not work without the dongle, and it does not. So they are, in fact, all on separate channels. There you go. So as soon as I plug the dongle in, it starts working again. Don't have to wait for anything. So here's our lowest DPI. Next, third, and then back to 1. So 3 DPI settings there. Very nice, smooth feeling mouse. I think I'll prefer this one better, just as far as feel goes. But if you like the contour, the form factor of this mouse, then of course that's going to be your choice. If I had to choose one mouse for me, it's going to be this one, just because I prefer wired mice. I don't ever want to have to deal with batteries, and this is going to be the only one that you do not have to touch any batteries with. You just plug it in and it's good to go. If I had to choose a number 2, it would be the same style in wireless, just because I really like that thumb rest. But overall, I could work with any of these mice. They all have good tracking. They all have the features that I want. These are some excellent mice.